While we were told in elementary school that you can mix all the colors of the rainbow with just red, yellow, and blue, it turns out you kind of need a little bit more than that. Having a more expanded selection of color gives you more variety and control, and some colors are just impossible to mix with just a limited palette, but it also doesn't mean you should pick up one of every single color. So today I want to share my recommendations of what colors you should pick out when you're just starting to learn how to paint. If you're picking up a paintbrush for the first time since elementary school, I recommend that you start off with just 2 colors, black and white. I know it's really boring, people will be like, that's not even a color, but it's a really great way to start off if you've never painted before. If you can restrain yourself, pick up a titanium white and ivory black or bone black and start off with painting the grayscale. It can be a bit difficult at first because, contrary to most initial assumptions, mixing equal parts of black and white will not actually give you a middle gray. Certain colors are stronger when you mix them, so this is a good practice to train your eye. Just using black and white first is great because you can get a handle of the material first if you're painting something you're looking at, which I highly recommend. You'll have an interesting challenge of how to translate all these different colors into different grays. You think in tones, paying attention to light and dark. So once you're pretty familiar with black and white and you feel pretty comfortable, you can start building on it with more colors. And I recommend the next step to be earth tones. While you can go with any sort of monochromatic palette, I do recommend the earth tone because it's everywhere in nature. I think it's a little bit more intuitive for us to figure out light versus dark, warm versus cool with these kind of colors. Expanding to the earth tones, pick up burnt sienna, raw sienna, burnt umber, and raw umber. I actually didn't have the umbers in acrylic paint and I didn't want to mix oil and acrylic paints, so here I'm just going to work with what I have. If you're up for a challenge, take away black, and if you want some more variety, add ultramarine blue and Naples yellow. I'll have a blog post on LittleArtTalks listing each color out for you, as well as an explanation of why I think each color is important to have in your kit, as well as tips of how to use them. With this palette, you have to start thinking not just about tone, but also temperature. Which of these colors are warmer or cooler? Knowing that, how can you utilize these colors? Mixing colors can be really fun, but also kind of overwhelming. So experimenting with a smaller selection of colors can not only be more manageable, but also force you to be more creative in thinking about how colors mix and interact. I've made a video about how our eyes perceive colors, so if you're not familiar with that, I definitely recommend that you check those videos out because those ideas are really imperative to how you place colors side by side and how they are perceived. Finally, let's expand onto more colors. Now, you already had a lot of colors to choose from with that limited palette, but let's think about what colors you can't create and what colors you should get. At this point, assess what your needs are. If all you want to paint are naturalistic still lifes and landscapes, the colors you need will be very different from what you need if you were to, say, paint Fauvus landscapes. At this point, you can really start only adding in 1 or 2 colors at a time. Unless there's a sale, then you can pick up a couple more. Pick and choose what you think is most useful to you and what you want to paint. If you want to go with more naturalistic colors, add alizarin crimson and cadmium yellow into the mix. If you find yourself looking for more colors, try a yellow ochre or a bright red like a cadmium red or a vermilion red, or even some blues, Prussian blue or phthalo blue. For a brighter palette, you might want to consider adding a green. You can already mix a bunch of different greens with the colors you have, but a color like phthalo green or viridian green will give you much brighter options to choose from. So those are my recommendations of specific colors to start off with. Everyone's different, so the more you paint, the more you'll learn about what colors you gravitate towards, or what colors you use more often, or even what colors are lacking. At this point, you can mix a ton of colors with your kit. It's not going to mix every single color out there, especially really bright colors or neons. If you tend to use those colors, maybe you just need to buy those instead, or in addition to your kit, but it's going to cover a pretty decent amount of colors, especially if you're just starting out and feeling out what you like or don't like. I hope this video was useful. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll try my best to answer them and help you guys out. Let me know what is your favorite color to paint with. What can you not live without? I'd love to hear what is essential in your painting kit. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please consider making a monthly pledge to our Patreon page. I made a video comparing the brands of different acrylic paints, and a lot of you guys recommended more brands for me to test and compare for you guys, and I really enjoy making them and helping you guys figure out which materials is best for your practice and what you want to achieve. But unfortunately, materials cost a lot of money, but if everyone is willing to contribute a little bit, I would be super grateful because I can make videos that help you guys. It's super helpful for me because then I don't have to go broke making these videos. And if not, you can always support the channel other ways, such as sharing it with your friend, posting it on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and that is also another great way to support Little Art Talks. As always, I'll leave all the links in the description bar below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Contrary to what we were told in elementary school, you can't really mix every single color you want with just 3 primary colors. Oh, that's 2.